Hey guys, it's Ashley, and today I am in the nursery. And I thought for my video this week that I would do I guess it's 21, but I'm like 21 and a half, almost 22 weeks. I don't think I've mentioned before, but I change weeks on Sundays. So today is Thursday, and I always like to speed ahead in my mind and be the next week because that's sort of like the first thing I've noticed at this stage of pregnancy is that, yes, I'm more than halfway there, but I feel like the first half of my pregnancy, while it went kind of slowly at the time, it breezed by. I look back and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm already this far along. But at the same time, I feel like, oh my gosh, I am only 21 weeks and it's crawling. And I think part of that probably has to do with viability. So for those of you who've been pregnant or just know about this, the baby is considered viable starting around 24 weeks, occasionally earlier. They're even doing scientific studies where babies can survive even earlier. I think the earliest one was like 21 weeks and 6 days, but they had lied about the gestation so that they would do all of the measures to keep the baby alive. So anyway, I really want to get past week 24, which, I mean, obviously I don't want the baby born at 24 weeks, but with having had miscarriages and everything, anything is better than not having any hope at all. So I really want to get to week 24. And then my next milestone after that, I think, is like week 27, 28. And then after that, it's like week 32. In my head, I have all these like milestones, but I feel so far away from them right now. I think my major symptoms this week revolve around having Braxton Hicks. I started getting them, and it's not as frequent as when I was pregnant with Ada, but sometimes I do get quite a few. For me, it's unlike other people that, they're on their feet too much or they're dehydrated or something else. I get them no matter what. I get them actually more when I'm laying down, and they just stick around. Now, I haven't had quite as many as I did with Ada, like I said, but it's something that is uncomfortable, and I think because I had had such a problem with them with Ada, I make a bigger deal out of them than maybe is necessary at this point. And I'm recognizing that, and I'm calming myself down. I actually haven't even called the doctor about them yet because I feel like they're normal. I haven't had a ton. And I've learned some measures that help a little bit. Like I started taking baths with magnesium, Epsom salt, and I changed position. I find that I have them a lot more when I'm sitting or laying down. I did have quite a few yesterday when I just walked around my neighborhood, which is funny because I still am running at this stage and I don't get them when I run. In fact, I feel like when I go jogging, it helps. So anyway, that's the deal with those. And kind of like with Ada, I noticed that I had a bunch and then the next day I got a lot bigger. So I think for me, they also happen a lot when I'm growing. I had a pretty big change in my bump from week like 19, 20 to now. And I wrote about it the other day, and I feel like I'm in my third trimester. I don't really care how I look. I mean, I knew I was going to be bigger this time around, but I just feel so much bigger. I already have back pain, lots of ligament pain, lots of pressure. I tend to carry my babies low. This is something I discovered this week with Ada. The whole time I was pregnant with her, she was very low in my pelvis. I always felt the kicks like at the extreme bottom of where I could feel the kicks. And this time around, it's been the same thing. This baby is also very, very active, just like Ada. The other night I was watching TV with Steven, and I've started doing it kind of hunched over this bean bag that we have to relieve some pressure on my back. And I just said to him, oh my gosh, I love this baby, but I really wish that she would just go to sleep because she was kicking me. She was even kicking me like in my cervix, and it just was uncomfortable. And I suppose I didn't feel like I would be having this many discomforts in the second trimester, but I suppose second pregnancies or, later pregnancies are different from the first, because in the first you're not stretched out. I was barely showing at this point with Ada. So I've also kind of been out of breath, which is weird. I've been sticking with my exercise routine, though I will say that I think due to my back and how I'm just feeling heavier, I might not run much longer, or at least I'm going to stop running 3 miles. I know women, and I did with Ada, just keep doing it the whole time, but for me, it's just not comfortable to do much longer than a half hour at this point. And I think 2 miles might be even more comfortable. Bar feels great, and it's challenging, so I'm going to keep up with that. And I also signed up for my first prenatal yoga class this weekend. We don't live in a real small area, but none of the yoga studios in the area had a prenatal option that I could find for the longest time. And I was looking in between when I had Ada and now to just see what was available. And yesterday, all of a sudden, the one that's closest to my house offers prenatal yoga on Sundays. So that I'm really excited to, maybe meet other pregnant women and also just go with the explicit purpose of stretching and relaxing. Trying to think of what else is going on this week. It's sort of, these weeks aren't terribly different. I think my next doctor's appointment is just before I hit 24 weeks. So that's about 2 weeks from now. And I think it's so silly, but with Ada, I had so many ultrasounds because of all the contractions I was having. And this time around, I don't really think that'll be the case, but I think I'm going to ask her to check my cervical length anyway, because I'm just paranoid. I'm just so paranoid. This is the whole thing that I guess I knew going into this pregnancy with everything that had happened in the last year that I would be anxious, but I'm surprised at how anxious I've been. It's not to the point where I'm paralyzed in fear or crying or anything, but there's no point where I forget I'm pregnant. There's no point where I'm just easy breezy about it. Everything, just like when I was pregnant with Ada, it still scares me. Every little twinge, I'm like, oh, what is that? I can't as easily just accept that, oh, this is my body, it's changing. I think always, oh no, something's wrong, which it's not a good way to be, but I've kind of given myself the freedom to feel that way, and I haven't been too hard on myself for feeling that way, because I understand that I kind of have a reason to be worried about things, and I've been talking with my midwife about my anxiety levels, and she's been really helpful with just sort of easing my mind. But the farther I go between appointments, I feel more anxious. So yeah, I'm sitting in the nursery. I hope to do a video soon. I'm just kind of looking around to see what I could tell you guys about. We have a rock and play and a bouncer, and I feel like a lot of second-time moms are always like, oh, we don't even have the crib unpacked, we don't have anything ready, but I have everything ready. I don't want the baby to come today, but if the baby came today, I have the car seat over there. I have even the mattress in the crib. I have books out. I have a lot of the clothes out. It's insane. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I think this pregnancy, I've been much more stuff oriented because I've been thinking about this for so long. I've been dreaming about this actually happening, and I feel like to really truly believe that it's happening, I've needed to sort of have everything out so I can see it. So it's this daily reminder. Last year, we had closed the door to this room and just boxed it off, and it was hard for me living in a 4-bedroom house, which I never thought I'd have a 4-bedroom house, but we do, and we just had all these empty bedrooms, and we had it closed off and dark, and so I like to have the door open. I like to have everything out to just remind me of this, what's happening, this stage in our lives, and it's been nice. It's just kind of cheery. Ada likes coming in here, and she made some art for the walls and everything. So yeah, I would say that I'll probably write a little bit more about what's going on this week, but those are the main highlights. I feel huge. I'm getting Braxton Hicks. I want my next doctor's appointment to be soon, but otherwise I'm just chugging along, and I'm hoping that June will get here soon. So thanks for following my pregnancy journey. I've been getting so many nice emails from you guys who've been following since before Ada or around when Ada was born, and it just gives me a lot of joy. So thank you.